Hey guys, I'm back with my star punditry coaches team. Maddie from Dartmouth College, who's overseeing USA making the final, and Shayla from Vassar College, who's overseeing Americas. Firstly, how impressed were you guys with the level the girls have maintained going into day 3? A lot of football been played now.
Yeah, it's been a good level over the 3 days, and I'm really proud of my team in particular. Just seeing them as much as I have, and their fight and their grit and ability to want to just play different positions so we can get subs in, and we were fortunate enough to have a little bit of depth unlike some other teams that's incurred some injuries, and fingers crossed, knock on wood. But yeah, we're excited for tomorrow.
Shayla, were you getting tired watching your players in that last game? Just they put in so much work in those last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, we only had one sub all weekend, and a lot of my players traveled from quite a distance, so I think they were battling some additional challenges, but never made an excuse. Always were encouraging of each other. I think the level stayed really high. You could see it fade at the last 30 minutes. I think they just really started to get gassed, but realistically speaking, I think they put in really great showing for themselves. A lot of players were playing out of position because of the one sub situation, and like I said, never any excuses, always a smile on their face, always working hard for their teammates, and that's all you can ask for, really.
And have you guys noticed over these 3-4 days that all the girls have been together, sort of friendships, camaraderie building?
Yeah, no, I think that's been fun, especially just like being around them as much as we have, like seeing them interact between the teams and the camaraderie, especially after the games. I think it's something that's great, and with them being here, overnight and stuff, just the bonding that they're doing, like I said, in between teams and between groups, it's honestly, it seems like a good experience for them.
Yeah, I think I heard a rumor today that my team has a theme song, which I've yet to hear, but I'm hoping that I get to hear that debuted at lunch. But I think that's kind of indicative of the environment right now. They came down talking about a theme song, and they all have some weird nicknames I'm not going to ask about. And, that's the best case scenario, what you hope for in an environment like this.
So I wanted to ask you guys about how do college athletes find the right fit? Because obviously you have Division 3, Division 2, Division 1 colleges. They all entail a different experience, particularly for international students. Just on the basic level, what would you define as the difference between those 3 categories?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of what, like throughout the process, like what that player or that potential student athlete wants, and like whether they want to play or like, the climate they want to be in, like all those things like can help factor in. High academic, a bigger school, like for sports, like all these different aspects that could help you lead to the right answer. And then like trusting their process throughout that, as long as they're, honest with themselves and the coaching staff, then, when they get there, I think that everyone's on the same page about expectations, which is best case scenario.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, players should come in with a couple, 3-4 top priorities. That's what I'm looking for. And I always think like, big picture, what are you looking to do big picture? If you're looking to play after college, then like you're probably looking to go D1 for sure. If that's not necessarily important to you, then like maybe you have a little bit more flexibility in your division. Climate is a big thing. I heard some of my players today say maybe they should look at Canada because it's a little bit toasty, but that's something to think about. Also, like what do you want to do after school in terms of a career if it's not soccer? And, do the schools that you're looking at have the best program to put you in the best situation as you move on, so that you can really focus while you're there for the 4 years on like what's going to be your next step?
And if a student athlete is able to find that right fit, how do you think being an athlete in college enriches the experience?
Yeah, I mean, I think like one of my most valuable experiences in life was being a student athlete, and for those 4 years, just looking back and the growth that I had being a freshman to being a senior, and then now still being around college athletics, like I think that's what's kept me around, is just the value I see in it, and the growth that a coach, can play in helping those student athletes throughout those 4 years. And then the camaraderie amongst teammates, like I still talk to some of my teammates, monthly, and I know some of them will be at my wedding, hopefully, as long as they still like me by then. But I think that it's an amazing experience, and something no matter what level you get, or D1, D2, D3, NAI, JUCO, whatever, your path leads you, I think it's super valuable.
Yeah, I think similarly, like at the end of the day, you get this weird experience that you know, people who are college athletes talk about their time being college athletes kind of for the rest of their lives. And when you meet another college athlete in a different environment, there's always that, like, even if it's not the same sport, not the same division, but there's always that kind of camaraderie of like, we had this shared experience and what was yours like and what was mine like. And I just think it's such a great experience. You really do get to learn so much about yourself as a leader, as a follower, as a teammate. I think employers look well upon that as well. So that's something to think about. Yeah, it's just such a great addition, I think, to a college experience.
Lastly, what are both of your best memories with college athletics? It could either be as a player or as a coach.
Yeah, you know, I think as a player, mine would have to be my sophomore year making it to the NCAA tournament. We went to penalty kicks, and I saved 3 of 3, and we went on to play in the NCAA tournament, and that was really fun. And I think as a coach, you know, I've been lucky enough to form great relationships with some of my student athletes, and I think the ones that I got to know really well on and off the field, you know, stand out to me the most, and just seeing their growth, you know, first gen college students, you know, maybe they're the only student athlete in their family, like different things like that, and seeing their growth on and off the field is the most, you know, rewarding to me. Plus some wins every now and then would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly got a couple from my college career. I had like a favorite goal my freshman year that probably has stuck with me. Particularly because I really wasn't feeling well that day, and my coach was like, if you score, you can come off. So I played 7 minutes in that game. I did my job. I got the goal.
That's incentive.
So that was really nice. But I think, you know, we had a game last year that maybe we shouldn't have won. They were number 10 in the country, and a first year of ours just had a banger from like 25 yards out, and that was just such a great moment, such a kind of unifying moment for the team, and she really felt like she found her footing. Watching a freshman gain that kind of confidence in a moment like that was really cool. And I think as a coach, the beauty is that you kind of get that every year. There's probably 1 or 2 moments you can point to, and just kind of feeds the soul a little bit. It's really nice.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you sharing your college memories, your advice as well. Maddie, you've been fantastic on the television. I know you're a little bit apprehensive, but
I felt better today. I felt calmer.
You've been fantastic. And Shayla, as always.
Interview. Yeah.
You guys did fantastic. But
Next step.
Yeah.
Next step, yeah. Once you're tied to Dartmouth in like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, I'll come back to you guys.
Yeah, Game and Frame will be national, hopefully. So we'll take you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, all right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take some care, guys. Thank you. And guys, reminder, we will be back with the final tomorrow between Rest of the World and USA. But for now, this is Josh Pratt signing off from a very hot Loomis Chaffee Prep School. Take care, everyone.